All right, anything else on this topic? 1, 2, 3. Dave Evans, new topics. Dave Evans.
Thanks. While we're in this kind of limbo period and we're going through this recanvassing, and Bill Thompson has said that he wants all the votes counted, and he's not stepped aside yet, how difficult does it make for you to move forward and to focus on the general election and on your opponent in the fall?
Dave, I'm a fan of yours, but I'm not going to accept the word limbo. I don't feel like I'm in limbo. Can I ask the audience, do I look like a guy? We are moving forward to another election. You can fill in the blank. You can fill in the blank because something has to still play out here. But to us, it's equal. We are moving forward to the next round of this election one way or another. And we're very comfortable with that reality. We're continuing to get a message out. And look, I've said throughout this election, I think we need very substantial changes in the city. I think we need a new progressive direction. I think we need a break from the Bloomberg years. And I'm continuing to say that today, as I just did. And I will say it tomorrow. And I said it yesterday. And so we're continuing with the work of this campaign. There is one piece that has to be resolved. Obviously, the Board of Elections intends next week to complete a full count of all the paper ballots, and that will be the ultimate word. In the meantime, we're continuing to build our campaign. You saw yesterday an extraordinary show of support, and there'll be more coming.
But would it help you if Bill Thompson would step aside?
Again, we're continuing to build our campaign. He has every right. If he wants to pursue the full count, he has every right. I respect Bill Thompson. I've worked with him a long time. That's his right. But we're continuing to build our campaign.
Bill, Mayor Bloomberg today said he will not endorse in this campaign. Are you disappointed?
Jim, I was waiting by the phone, Jim. Look, I want to, seriously, everyone knows I've had no trouble critiquing the mayor, but I've also stood by the mayor on a number of occasions when I thought he was right. I think this was an admirable and appropriate act. He made very clear that he had two intentions. One, to finish his administration effectively, and two, to govern over an effective transition. I think that the decision he made is consistent with those values. So, I think that that was a consistent and clearly articulated decision on his part. Yes.
In an election where one candidate gets, 39.9% of the vote, and another
Did you
candidate...
say 40.2%?
and another candidate gets maybe 25%. Do you think that the second place candidate should automatically concede for the good of the party?
You can't tell a candidate what to do. It's each candidate's choice. I respect whatever choice Mr. Thompson makes. We will have a numerical outcome, and that will govern. In a way, I just want to be clear. I'm very comfortable with the situation because it will be a fact. There will be a final count, and that will govern the action, and we will act accordingly. But either way, we're ready.
Have you spoken with Mayor Bloomberg since Tuesday?
I saw him on Wednesday at the 9/11 memorial, and we had just a very brief exchange. He was very gracious and offered congratulations, and I appreciated his very open approach.
Bill, I missed the part of what you said because of the traffic. You said the mayor's been very consistent in terms of what regarding?
No, I'm saying what he said today, I thought there was a clear consistency to his point. He is focused on his last 100-plus days in office and getting done that which he can get done in that time, and he is focused on an orderly and positive transition. If that's what he values, and I believe he really does value that, then not making an endorsement in the general election is consistent with those values. So I think what he's put forward is a fair and consistent approach.
Bill,
Wait, you had one. Back off. I said I would love. Come on. I'm playing with you. You'll be back.
When you talked to Mayor Bloomberg on Wednesday, did he say anything with the New York Magazine article today?
No.
It wasn't brought up?
No. We were at the 9/11 memorial. It wasn't a place to have a deep conversation. I appreciate his graciousness. Anyone who hasn't got one in this round before we go back to Jim, because I don't want to hurt his feelings. Rich, I'm sorry, Rich. Right. I don't want to hurt his feelings. Rich, you're up.
Yeah, so have you had a conversation with Mr. Thompson since Tuesday?
Tuesday night. Well, not since Tuesday. Tuesday night, he informed me of his desire to continue with the count, and I said I understand. And this is someone I've worked with for many, many years and respect, and I understand that's what he wants to do, and we'll keep moving forward. Yes.
So if he doesn't decide to withdraw by midnight tonight, and it turns out at the final count that he does get 39% of the vote, then there is going to be a second election. I mean, are you prepared for that to happen?
I think we're prepared.
Will you talk to him? And
We
try
have
to
been
convince him
prepared
to-
for months. I mean, I'm not saying this to be flip. This has been a campaign built over months and years with the full assumption of a runoff. There was no one. You've asked me, you and everyone else here asked me this question for the last few weeks. We didn't spend a single day thinking there wouldn't be a runoff. So everything is strategically ready for a runoff. There's a very, very large apparatus in place ready. That's what it comes to. We'll be ready.
One more question.
Bill, I think you said
Two more. Go ahead.
that you've been in contact with the Clintons, or they called you in some regard, and I believe Bill Clinton had some positive words in the past about Mayor Bloomberg, someone who you said you want to break away from completely. Is there going to be any problems with having the Clinton sort of campaign for you, as you're saying you want to undo some of the things that Mike Bloomberg has put in place?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the sheer complexity of your question. Now,
I try.
First, it was entirely gratifying and humbling that each of the Clintons called. I have had the honor of working for President Clinton as his appointee as the regional director for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. I had the honor of working as his state director in the re-election campaign in '96. So it was an entirely humbling moment. It was an honor to have Secretary Clinton call, who obviously I served as for campaign manager in the 2000 Senate race. Let's be clear, they both offered congratulations, they both offered extraordinarily helpful advice, and we left it at that. Anything in the future has to be worked out in the future. There's no specific ideas beyond that. In terms of if it were to come to, which would be wonderful, an opportunity to campaign together, I don't think there's any contradiction. I think it's true that President Clinton worked very well with Mayor Bloomberg, and they had a lot of common ground. But I also am proud to come from the Clinton family and to have worked on their behalf and obviously in common cause. So I don't think there's any contradiction. Yes.
Some people have said that a potential runoff, and especially the time it's taking to figure out whether or not there's going to be a potential runoff and all of this sort of strife within the party, is hurting the Democratic ticket in the general election. What do you think? Is this going to hurt, you if you are the Democratic nominee in the general?
I think we Democrats are just fine right now.
Yeah.
I think we're doing fine. I think everything's being done very respectfully. I think, again, a lot of us have worked together for many years, and it's understandable we'll have some differences, but we also know how to put aside those differences. I think this is a moment when the Democratic Party in the city is very strong, when our campaign is fully prepared for either eventuality, and we're gaining support every day, literally every day gaining more and more support. So I'm at peace with either outcome, and the numbers will speak for themselves. This is all going to sort itself out in a matter of days, and when it does, we'll move forward. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.